The rise of Pablo, from silence to spotlight. Have you ever felt like your voice didn't matter? That your dreams were too big, too far, too impossible? This is the story of a young man who once sat quietly in the shadows, doubted, overlooked, and misunderstood. But instead of giving up, he chose to believe. He transformed pain into purpose and silence into music. Today, he stands on the world stage, not just as a singer, but as a voice for a generation. This is the rise of Pablo of SB19, and his story might just awaken the dreamer in you. If you like this type of stories, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Before he was Pablo, the leader and creative force behind SB19, he was John Paulo Nace, a quiet kid from Imus Cavite, with a notebook full of rhymes and a heart full of dreams. In a world that often dismissed young people who dare to be different, Paulo found his comfort in words, writing poetry and songs that no one ever heard. His childhood wasn't marked by grand stages or standing ovations. It was simple, filled with silent struggles and small victories. In school, he wasn't the loudest or most popular, but he was thoughtful, observant, and quietly building something that the world would one day need: his truth. Music became his secret language. It allowed him to say what he couldn't express in conversations. Each beat he wrote was a release, each lyric a piece of himself. Still, it was a lonely path. People didn't always understand him. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing something deeper: purpose. When SB19 Philippines held auditions for a new P-pop group, Paulo took a leap of faith. He didn't come with flashy confidence. He came with passion, raw talent, and an unshakable determination to grow. And grow he did. Through sweat, exhaustion, and endless hours of training, he transformed. From being unsure, he became unstoppable. But SB19's journey was anything but easy. They debuted to little fanfare. People mocked them, calling them copycats, questioning their existence in an industry dominated by K-pop and foreign influence. There were moments when even continuing felt pointless. They performed in empty malls and uploaded videos that barely got views. Yet through it all, Pablo stood strong. Not with arrogance, but with quiet conviction. He became the anchor of the group, not just with his leadership, but with his heart. He wrote songs that told their story, expressed their pain, and connected with those who, like them, felt unheard. Then came Go Up, the song that almost didn't happen. It was their make-or-break moment, and it broke through. The video slowly gained traction. People started to notice their talent, their discipline, their authenticity. They weren't just mimicking, they were building something original. And at the core of that originality was Pablo's songwriting. His words struck a chord. He wasn't trying to impress, he was trying to be honest. Success followed. Awards, tours, international interviews. But through it all, Pablo remained grounded. He wasn't in it for applause. He was in it for connection. Even as millions of fans chanted his name, he kept writing, not for fame, but for those who still felt invisible. What makes Pablo's story so powerful is not just his rise to fame, but his refusal to let go of who he is. In an industry that often pressures artists to conform, he chose integrity. He speaks up about mental health, personal struggles, and the importance of staying true to your art. He doesn't pretend to be perfect. He embraces imperfection and encourages others to do the same. His vulnerability makes him relatable. His wisdom makes him inspiring. And his story reminds us that success isn't about being the loudest voice. It's about having something real to say. Behind every beat, every lyric, every SB19 anthem, there's a piece of Pablo. He represents every young dreamer who's been told they're too quiet, too different, or too unrealistic. His journey proves that you don't have to be loud to be heard. You just have to be true. Today, Pablo continues to lead not just with talent, but with intention. His solo work explores deep themes and experiments with sound. He challenges norms, breaks barriers, and dares to be different. And through it all, he carries the same spirit he had as a boy scribbling verses in his notebook. He reminds us that creativity is powerful. That leadership doesn't have to be forceful. It can be thoughtful, humble, and kind. And most of all, He shows us that the journey is just as important as the destination. Pablo's story is more than just a tale of stardom. It's a message. Believe in your voice, even when no one else does. Keep going, even when no one is watching. And when the world finally listens, use your voice not just to be heard, but to uplift others. Pablo's journey teaches us that quiet determination can lead to thunderous impact. You don't have to start loud. You just have to start. And once you do, never let the noise of the world drown out the music in your soul. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Keep going. What do you think of Pablo's inspiring journey? Let me know your thoughts and how his story impacts your own dreams and struggles. Your feedback helps shape the next story we tell.